Close. Jets quarterback Josh McCown talks about the Jets' brutal fourth-quarter collapse against the Dolphins. The Jets were outscored 170 in the fourth quarter on the way to a 3,128 loss at Hard Rock Stadium in Miami Gardens, FLA, on Sunday, October 22, 2017. Andy Vasquez, NorthJersey.com. Miami Gardens, FLA. The Jets have spent several decades inventing new ways to lose football games, but what they did in the fourth quarter on Sunday afternoon set a new standard for awfulness. And it was a total team effort. The Dolphins beat the Jets 3,128 at Hard Rock Stadium, scoring 17 unanswered points in the fourth quarter to storm past the Jets. "It's frustrating," Jets coach Todd Bowles said. "We had a chance to finish and we didn't finish. Too many mistakes, too many blunders. At some point we got to develop some killer instinct to finish the ball game." Bowles is actually wrong. The Jets had a killer instinct on Sunday, they just used it on themselves. Heading into the fourth quarter, the Jets had a commanding 2,814 lead and a feel-good story looked as if it was about to get a whole lot better. The Dolphins' offense was struggling, and playing with backup quarterback Matt Moore. The Jets' offense was having one of its best games of the year, and it looked as if quarterback Josh McCown could do no wrong. The Jets seemed poised for a win that would have put them at 43 and kept them, at worst, a game behind the Patriots in the AFC East. This team would have been in the heat of a playoff race heading into the midpoint of the season, but there should be no playoff talk after what the Jets did to close the game. Game-changing mistake. The Jets were worse than awful on offense in the fourth quarter, because the offense was non-existent. And yet, with 47 seconds remaining, the Jets had the ball on their own 15 with all 3 timeouts remaining. They had a legitimate chance to win this game, and then McCown made his worst decision and his worst throw of the season. His pass to Jermaine Kearse on the left side was easily intercepted by Dolphins cornerback Bobby McCain. "It was one of those I tried to stop while I was throwing, because I saw him late," McCown said. "I don't even want to think about it, man. It makes you sick. It's something that can't happen." Bobby McCain lets go. Picked out Twitter.com. Jadu. Miami Dolphins at Miami Dolphins, October 22, 2017. McCown is right. The play was a disaster and inexcusable. At worst, the Jets should have been heading to overtime in that situation. But even worse than McCown's throw was the performance of the Jets' offense leading up to it. The Jets' offense had a total of 4 yards in the fourth quarter. Yes, really. That is not a typo. The unit committed 5 penalties to declined for a loss of 25 yards. They made only 1 first down and never threatened to score. Defensive breakdowns. The Jets' defensive performance was no better. Moore replaced the injured Jay Cutler early in the third quarter and struggled to start. But apparently, the Jets' defense let its guard down in the fourth quarter as Moore completed 10 of 15 passes for 132 yards and 2 touchdowns. Cornerback Buster Skrine had a brutal game and a tough fourth quarter. He got beat in coverage by Kenny Stills for the touchdown that pulled the Dolphins within 2,821. Stills outran Skrine and outjumped him. Photo. The Associated Press. Then, with the Jets still leading by 7, it got worse for Skrine. He committed 2 defensive holding penalties to help the Dolphins get inside the 5-yard line. Then, he gave, along with linebacker Darren Lee, let Stills get loose for the game-tying touchdown. Skrine also gave up a 28-yard pass interference in the second quarter, on a play in which it seemed the ball would fall incomplete anyway. The Dolphins scored a touchdown on that drive, too. "I'll watch the film," Jets coach Todd Bowles said. "I'm not going to sit up here and judge Buster off not seeing anything. Buster plays hard. He had a great game last week, and I know he got a penalty, 3 penalties, for 36 yards this week, but him, like everybody else, have to play better." Penalty problem. Skrine wasn't the only one with a penalty problem. The Jets have made limiting penalties a point of emphasis. Apparently, it's not working. The Jets committed 12 penalties for 124 yards on Sunday, many of them critical. In the fourth quarter alone, they committed 5 penalties for 33 yards and 2 more were declined. Photo. The Associated Press. The penalties hurt the Jets in every way, killing their own momentum on offense and keeping Miami's chances alive when they were on defense. "Penalties, penalties, penalties," Kearse said. "That is the story of this game. It's something that we've just got to clean up. It's very vital to this team right now to clean up our penalties, offensively and defensively." Email Vasquez at NorthJersey.com. Read our live, in-game analysis below. Close. Jets wide receiver Jermaine Kearse talks after his team's epic four-quarter collapse for a 3,128 loss to the Dolphins. The Jets led 2,814 at the start of the fourth quarter at Hard Rock Stadium in Miami Gardens, FLA, on Sunday, October 22, 2017. Andy Vasquez, NorthJersey.com. Dolphins 31, Jets 28 final. The Jets are who we thought they were. Not a very good football team. They proved it in every way Sunday with a fourth-quarter meltdown for the ages in a 3,128 loss to the Dolphins. New York Jets cornerback Buster Skrine, 41, defends Miami Dolphins wide receiver Kenny Stills, 10, who had come down with the catch during the first half at Hard Rock Stadium. Photo Jason Vinlavusa. Today Sports. The Jets had the ball on their own 15-yard line with a chance to win the game with 47 seconds remaining. At worst, they should have been headed to overtime, but on first down, Josh McCown threw a looping ball toward Jermaine Kearse on the left sideline. It was a terrible pass and a terrible decision. Dolphins cornerback Bobby McCain picked it off with ease. Suddenly, the Dolphins were already in field goal range, and Dolphins kicker Cody Parkey didn't miss his chance from 39 yards, putting the field goal right down the middle, give the Dolphins a 3-point lead with 22 seconds remaining. The Jets actually led 2,814 heading into the fourth quarter. But they were brutal on both sides of the ball from that point on. The offense, which had been impressive in the first half, had 4 yards in the fourth quarter. That is not a typo. The defense allowed 17 unanswered points to backup quarterback Matt Moore, and committed several costly penalties. The Jets should have won this game. Even after Miami came back, they could have won this game. All they had to do was make a play. And on play, on either side of the ball could get it done. The playoff talk can stop. The Jets are under .500 and now trail the Patriots and Dolphins in the division. Good teams don't find a way to lose games like this. But the Jets found every way to lose this one. Jets 28, Dolphins 28 to 619 remaining in the fourth quarter. Miami Gardens, FLA. This isn't getting any better for Buster Skrine and the Jets. After giving up the first touchdown of the fourth quarter, Skrine, the veteran cornerback, committed 2 more penalties and was at least partially responsible for the game-tying touchdown. The Dolphins are now tied with the Jets at 2,828 with 619 remaining, after Kenny Stills beat Darren Lee and Skrine for a 2-yard touchdown. The Jets' commanding 14-point lead to enter the fourth quarter is now just a memory. And shoddy pass coverage is a big reason why. Matt Moore, who took over for Jay Cutler in the third quarter, is 9 of 10 for 98 yards and 2 touchdowns to start the fourth quarter. Jets 28, Dolphins 21, 11:21 remaining in the fourth quarter. This has been a tough day for Jets cornerback Buster Skrine. Skrine got torched by Dolphins receiver Kenny Stills for a 28-yard touchdown, pulling the Dolphins within 2,821 with 11:21 remaining in the fourth quarter. Skrine also committed a bad pass interference penalty in the first half, when he failed to turn around and defend a pass, running into a Dolphins receiver. The pass was underthrown and probably wouldn't have been completed anyway, so now the Jets have a game on their hands. They'll need to make one more big play, on either offense or defense, to preserve this lead. Jets 28, Dolphins 14,141 remaining in the third quarter. New York Jets defensive end Muhammad Wilkerson, 96, celebrates after intercepts a pass during the first half against the Miami Dolphins at Hard Rock Stadium. Photo Steve Michalusa. Today Sports. Dolphins quarterback Jay Cutler got knocked out of the game. But the Jets are still finding ways to force turnovers and turn them into points. Miami backup Matt Moore forced a throw into double coverage in the third quarter. And rookie safety Marcus May was there to make sure the mistake was a costly one. May picked off Moore for his second career interception and returned it for 32 yards down to the Dolphins' 45. The Jets turned it into a touchdown to take a commanding 2,814 lead with 141 remaining. Quarterback Josh McCown scrambled, buying himself time to find tight end Austin Seferian-Jenkins wide open in the back of the end zone. It was the third straight week that Seferian-Jenkins has recorded a touchdown reception. And no review was necessary on this one. May also had an interception in Week 5 at Cleveland, robbing the Browns of a touchdown. Jets 21, Dolphins 14 halftime. New York Jets wide receiver Robbie Anderson 11 in action against the Miami Dolphins during an NFL game at MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, NJ on Sunday, September 24, 2017. AP photo Britpenner XMITBPNY 101 photo app Muhammad Wilkerson hasn't had much of an impact this season. Well, until now. Rookie Jamal Adams tipped Jay Cutler's pass, and Wilkerson intercepted it at the 4-yard line late in the first half. Wilkerson returned the ball down to the 1 and the Jets scored 2 plays later to take a 2,114 lead with 151 remaining in the first half. It was only the second interception of Wilkerson's career and his first since 2013. Also of note, the Jets had back-to-back sacks at the end of the first half, as linebacker Josh Martin and safety Jamal Adams got to Jay Cutler. but they're still looking for their first sack from the defensive line this season. Leonard Williams actually had Cutler in his arms before he slipped loose and Adams got him for the sack. While Adams celebrated, Williams was shaking his head in frustration. The 2016 Pro Bowler is still looking for his first sack of the year. Here's a look at some of the key first-half numbers. For the Jets, Josh McCown is 10 of 15 for 163 yards and 2 touchdowns. The Jets have only 11 carries for 38 yards. But running backs Matt Forte and Bilal Powell have combined for 80 yards on 5 catches. The Jets have held the Dolphins to 25 yards rushing on 13 attempts. Penalties are still a big issue for the Jets, who have committed for 68 yards. Linebacker Darren Lee has 2 personal foul penalties for a total of 30 yards. The Jets have outgained the Dolphins 191,138, Jets 14, Dolphins 14,614 left in the second quarter. New York Jets wide receiver Jermaine Kearse celebrates after his touchdown against the Miami Dolphins during the first half at Hard Rock Stadium. Photo Jason Vinlavus at Today Sports. Miami Gardens, FLA. Rookie Jamal Adams had another learning experience on Sunday. Although he probably couldn't have done much about this one, Jay Cutler found Anthony Fasano for a 4-yard touchdown pass with 6:14 remaining in the second quarter to tie the game at 14. Adams was covering Fasano, but cornerback Darrell Roberts got run into Adams as the Dolphins ran a pick play. Fasano and Adams were on the outside. Roberts' man, former Rutgers receiver Leonte Carroo, was on the inside. Carroo ran to the outside, running Roberts into Adams, and allowing Fasano to come free. 10 plays, 70 yards. Fasano caps it off with the TD reception. NejSmyapic.twitter.com Ku77 Mage. Miami Dolphins at Miami Dolphins October 22, 2017. Jets 14, Dolphins 7,127 left in the first quarter. A lot of players are having a hard time with the turf conditions at Hard Rock Stadium, not Matt Forte. On 3rd and 19, the Jets were in deep trouble. And then Forte caught a screen pass and made about 4 Miami defenders miss on the way to a 21-yard gain. It was an incredible play, and it also helped the Jets get on the scoreboard for the second time in their first 3 drives. Josh McCown found Robbie Anderson for an 18-yard touchdown over the middle to give the Jets a 147 lead with 127 left in the first quarter. Afterward, Anderson had a humorous touchdown celebration. He climbed into the first row, sat in a lounger and put his feet up. It's been a good start for the Jets on offense. McCown was 7 of 10 for 148 yards and 2 touchdowns in the first quarter. Jets 7, Dolphins 7. 10:44 left in the first quarter. This was supposed to be a defensive struggle. So far, it's just been 2 struggling defenses. The Dolphins, who hadn't scored a first-half touchdown all season, marched down the field 75 yards in 5 plays to tie the game at 77 with 10:40 remaining in the first quarter. Miami had pass gains of 25 yards and 36 yards. The 36-yarder was first ruled incomplete, but replays showed that Kenny Stills made a spectacular juggling catch at the 4-yard line. On the next play, Jay Cutler found Jarvis Landry for a 4-yard touchdown. Landry was left alone in the back of the end zone because of a defensive miscommunication. The Jets had big issues on defense. Rookie Jamal Adams also seemed to miss a coverage on Miami's first play from scrimmage, which was a 25-yard pass gain. Jets 7, Dolphins 0. 12:55 left in the first quarter. The Jets have figured out how to start a game on offense. Apparently, for the second straight week, the Jets marched down the field for an opening drive touchdown. This one was masterful. Quarterback Josh McCown found Bilal Powell for a 31-yard screen pass on the first play of the game. 2 plays later, Forte caught a little swing pass to the left for a 13-yard gain. Those 2 passes perfectly set up the Dolphins for the Jets to take a deep shot, and that's just what they did 2 plays later. McCown threw a perfect, lofting ball over the right side for a 29-yard touchdown to Jermaine Kearse. It was Kearse's 4th touchdown of the season. He's never caught more than 5 touchdowns in a season. Pre-game Muhammad Wilkerson will play for the Jets on Sunday afternoon as they try to edge ahead of the Dolphins in the AFC East standings. Wilkerson has not practiced for the last 2 weeks as he deals with shoulder and toe injuries. But this will mark the second straight game that he plays without practicing. Meanwhile, the Dolphins will be without one of their key receivers, Devontae Parker, who has been ruled out with an ankle injury that also kept him out in Week 6. It's been a frustrating season for Wilkerson, who is still searching for his first sack. The Jets' defensive line has yet to record a sack this season, even though they were expected to be the strength of the Jets' defense. Jets coach Todd Bowles had said that the Jets have considered giving Wilkerson a week off to help recover from his injuries. But this will not be that week. This is the second matchup between the Jets and the Dolphins this season, and the second meeting in the last 4 weeks. Exactly 28 days ago, the Jets beat the Dolphins 207 at MetLife Stadium. Miami didn't score until the final play of the game that afternoon. Jets QB Christian Hackenberg, CB Derek Jones, RB Travaris Cadet, Old Freddie Bishop, Olbobum Gwasham, Jonathan Harrison, Tay Jordan Leggett, Dolphins WR Devante Parkers, Maurice Smith, CB Byron Maxwell, LB Stephon Anthony, Isaac Asiatat, Sam Young, DT Vincent Taylor, Mail Vasquez at NorthJersey.com.